that was my fault too, because you're supposed to protect yourself at all times. So.
Thanks, Demi.
Champ side.
We're going to talk about Spence Crawford after the press conference. This is live.
I don't know what the future holds, but like I said, I'm going to get a new mouthpiece.
Champ side, Errol, you really started right here in front of you. You really started applying pressure right after that situation. And can you talk about the dog, Michael Irvin? I saw him after the fight. He was very fired up. He said, that's what we do. We break mother. Can you talk about your style and that pressure that you put on to make a fighter break inside of the ring?
I think when the fight first started, I was being kind of impatient. I don't think I had my rhythm and my range. So, I was throwing like looping shots, trying to throw hard shots and trying to catch them. But in the later rounds when I started, setting my shots up and placing my shots and picking my shots and not throwing hard, but just, letting them go, I think I was catching them a lot and, breaking them down. And I felt him breaking down because, he wasn't throwing like he usually does. So I was like, okay, I got him now. And then, I just kept punching. I thought the ref was going to stop it a lot earlier. But, he just let it keep going.
Keith Heidig from BoxingScene.com. Congratulations, Errol.
Thank you.
Now that you've both made it crystal clear that you want this fight next, how difficult do you expect the negotiations to be, and what do you think would be fair for both of you?
I'm not going to talk about what's going to be fair for both of us. That's for the guys in suits to go over all the little analytics and and stuff like that and, see what, we both bring to the table and then, sort it out like that. So, he got his people that, take care of his business. I got my people. They'll meet up and, it'll make sense.
Errol, straight down. Danny Alvarez here. First and foremost, congratulations on the victory. There's been a lot of questions regarding the eye, and obviously now you got in there, you showed. People were saying it hasn't been man down in a while. You showed. How do you feel now stepping out of the ring, getting a TKO here in front of your home crowd, and obviously first fight back since the detached retina?
I feel good. It was a lot of questions that y'all had, not myself, because I've been in the gym, I've been sparring, so I didn't have any questions. Y'all had all the questions in the doubt.
No, I don't miss being at fights at all. Not really.
Or he not the same fighter, or it's only natural. All the experts, it's only natural that when you have an eye surgery, you're gonna be tentative in the ring and all the other bull crap. And then, as you seen, it was no tentativeness or anything like that. I was fighting. I was fighting to get a knockout. So, I felt good.
Hey, Errol, James Bell here at the Boxing Source. Now,
who's hating on any of the fighters?
Adjustments that, changed the momentum of the fight. In the third and the fourth round, you pretty much started to land that left uppercut, and that was pretty much where Ugas didn't have an answer for it. So, kind of going to those adjustments as far as keeping consistent with the jab, but also incorporating the left uppercut, where he just didn't have an answer for that.
It's just about making adjustments, like you said. I think that's just my style. I make adjustments on the fly. And when something's not going right, that's what I do, and I try to look for different things. So, I was throwing the left, it wasn't working, so I was jabbing, setting it up, and then throwing a right hook, it was working. Then I was throwing my short shots underneath and then coming over the top, and that was working. So, I was just trying different things, and, and the things that was working, I started using more and more and more as the fight started going, and I started settling it in.
Errol, congrats, champ. Steven Cordeño, KO Artist Sports. Your body attack was vicious tonight, man. And do you feel that helped open up the shots to the eye? And with the eye closing, did you see it closing, obviously, and maybe kind of start going for it more, thinking maybe the stoppage would come from that?
By the way,
I did see it closing.
Please
but,
like the video. Subscribe if you haven't.
What was open and just trying to punch through his guard. I know a lot of times he just sit and brace himself and, try to take the shots. So I was just punching through the guard.
Okay, we have time for one last question. Thank you. Valencia King with Real Talk Sports right here. Earl, congratulations again. My question is, you came out to none other than Southside the Realest. It's the Big T-U-C-K. What was that moment like for you? Because the city of Dallas was on 10.
Look,
that's what, I
bullshit question.
do, especially fighting in Dallas. I want to bring homegrown, people that's from the city. And, I think it was a great moment for the city of Dallas because, to me, that's the biggest song that ever came out of Dallas. And, everybody know that song, so word for word. So I feel like it was a great moment, a historic moment. I'm going to keep putting on great shows and great performances. And, if I can, I'm going to come out too. This is probably this is my third rapper from Dallas that I came out with. So, I'm always trying to, show love, back to my city, especially, if somebody has a great song, I want to get them as much exposure as I can.
I hate when they use the last question for some dumb shit.
Thank you.
Like, I get real annoyed at, like, media events.
Errol Spence, Jr., ladies and gentlemen.
And I get cussed out,
the
too.
unified welterweight champion of the world. An incredible performance. Also, Derek James, his esteemed trainer, his entire team, as Errol Spence.
Don't worry, I have some highlights. We'll listen to the post-fight interviews. I got some content for you.
Unbelievable. Have a great one, everybody, and congratulations once again, Errol Spence Jr., the unified welterweight champion of the world before nearly 40,000 fans here at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Good night, everybody. Have a great one. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, let's talk. So I got some clips here for you. I guess we should start with the post-fight interviews, right? Or some highlights. Yeah, I don't really, let me tell you something. The last boxing media event I've been to, I was supposed to be at Shakur Stevenson versus Miguel Mariaga. Remember, that was the week that COVID had shut down the world. The last event I was at before that was Gary Russell versus Tuck Stutney-Ambayar, and then I was at J. Rock Williams when he had lost to Jason Rosario in Philly. But no, I really don't miss going to media events like that. It'd be a lot of bullshit going on at those media events and a lot of cocksucking. But anyway, let's go listen to the post-fight interview from Errol Spence and him calling out Terrence Crawford. By the way, now, Errol Spence to me looked phenomenal. Coming off of two back-to-back, 13-month layoffs. Remember, after the Sean Porter fight, he had the accident. Then he didn't fight. When was the accident? When he fought Sean Porter sometime in, let me pull it up real quick for you. He fought Sean Porter in September of 2019? Sean Porter, September of 2019. Okay. Then he had the accident. Didn't return for 13 months when he fought Danny Garcia in December of 2020. That was already miraculous. If you don't know the story, I'm sick of talking about it. I'm sure fans are sick of hearing about it. He was drinking and driving, boozing and driving, and his Ferrari flipped. And from my understanding, him not having his seatbelt on is what actually saved his life, because as his Ferrari's flipping, he gets ejected out of the vehicle. So his teeth and everything are brand new. That may be something that's going on with the mouthpiece as well. So, he's had some work done, but, multimillionaire, of course, he's able to get the best work. So, boom, he had that, right? Beats Danny Garcia. He's supposed to fight Manny Pacquiao in August of 2021. He gets a torn retina. Some speculate that torn retina has always been around, but, they may have been hiding it so he can still keep fighting. Maybe been around since the car accident. Nonetheless, he got it fixed. Another 13-month layoff, and he comes back and dismantles, dominates WBA Super World Champion Yordenis Ugas. Now, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. Manny Pacquiao was old, okay? Keith Thurman wasn't supposed to lose to Manny Pacquiao. That was supposed to be his passion of the torch, but he lost to Manny Pacquiao. Then Errol Spence wasn't supposed to get injured, obviously, so therefore the fight went to Yordenis Ugas because they didn't want to just scrap the whole event. And Manny Pacquiao's guaranteed a lot of money. And, and then, he has a very strict window on when he can fight, so they couldn't just reschedule him versus Spence. So it's like, all right, you know, Yordenis Ugas gets the win. But Yordenis Ugas, in my opinion, this was the best performance on world champion level of Errol Spence. And in my opinion, the best win of Errol Spence's career. Now, let's go look at it. What am I talking about here, right? Yordenis Ugas has a very solid resume from Amiri Imam, who he lost to, Jamal James, Brian Perella, who just fought last week, Tomas Delorme, when he was still somewhat relevantly something, Ray Robinson, Sean Porter. Arguably, a lot of people thought he won that fight. Omar Figueroa, he put a boot in his ass, beat the shit out of him. I keep saying it all the time. I don't know where the hell they got Mike Dallas Jr. from. Abel Ramos, he did struggle. And then Manny Pacquiao and now Errol Spence. And Errol Spence was the first person to ever stop him. I'm talking about, where's my cards? And I got little notes here and shit. Let me see. You see my little notes? You see? Round number 1, Ugas, jab plus the body. Excuse my shitty handwriting. You know, mine broke my hand several times. So I got like, it's like arthritic. So I can't hold like a pen. No bullshit. I can't like really operate a pen for a long period of time. So anyway, round number 1, Ugas, jab. Did you notice in round number 1, Ugas must have landed at least 7 straight jabs to the body. And then he just abandoned it around round 4. You know, and then you notice that when he did have success, he was moving Errol Spence with those body shots, but he was afraid to get countered. So basically, I generously gave Ugas 2 rounds. Round number 1, just based off the jab and the body work, and obviously round number 1 is more of a feeling out round. And round number 6 was when he had Errol Spence hurt because Errol Spence went chasing after his mouthpiece. Here, let's go. Let me show you this clip right here. Protect yourself at all times, ladies and gentlemen. Protect yourself at all times. So he knocks the mouthpiece out right here. Boom. This is round number 6. Now, around this time, Errol Spence was already opening up a can of whoop ass. That's the mouthpiece down here, right? You see it? So here it is. You're going to see the uppercut. And it's really, no, it's not really an uppercut because he's going to hit him with like the paw part. And I'm guessing it smushed the mouthpiece out. And remember, Errol Spence had some dental surgery, to say the least. So look, you can kind of see it's the paw part of the glove. See, you can kind of see it a little bit, you know, and then it just smushes the mouthpiece out. And that thing gets airborne. There you go. See it? The thing's flying. That thing's on the move. But then he has like a brain fart. And I'm wondering if it's because of the accident and all the work he had done, because he just completely forgets the basics. He just says, oh shit, let me go get that joint. Look, and he determined too. He said, you know what? Fuck this shit. I want my mouthpiece. And then you can see he snaps back into reality. Look, he's going to be like, oh shit, wait, what the fuck? And then it's by that time, it's too late. Smack. I'm going to play it through in real time for you. I just don't want to get copywritten. Look, he started chasing after it, like, and then he woke up. He woke up like, oh, I'm in a fight. And that could have been a lot worse, bro. And you can say the ropes held him up. You know, that could have been a knockdown. Should have been a knockdown, in my opinion. You know? But you have to think that that was an error on Errol Spence's part that could have been, you know, like, I can't give Ugas no stripes for that, for real, for real. You see what I'm saying? I can't give Ugas no real stripes for that, you know? By the way, take a time out, please. Like the video, subscribe. Let's go listen to the post-fight interview. And also, you can follow me on Twitter at T-Street-Controversy. The link to my social media right down below in the description box. Here, let me pull up this post-fight interview here. Hold on. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Here we are. Let's listen in. He finally did it. I have confidence that it's going to happen. Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford at the end of the year. I really think it's going to happen.
Errol, congratulations. You've got the 3 belts.
Thank you. It means a lot, man. It means a lot fighting in my hometown in front of my family, my friends, and everybody else who support me. These are my #1 fans right here that came out and supported me.
And they continue to support you. You had this 17-month layoff. You had the eye surgery. So there were a lot of questions coming into this fight. Did you have any doubts?
I didn't have any doubts at all. Like I said, I believe in myself 100%. I trained 100%, and I just knew I was going to come with the victory. So that's what I wanted. I didn't want to tune-up fight or fight somebody I know I could beat. I wanted somebody who's going to bring the best out of me, and I knew Ugas was going to bring the best out of me.
You were in terrific condition, and you had a new conditioning coach and a nutritionist. How much did that help?
My nutritionist helped a lot. He made sure I was eating right, made sure I was drinking water, no junk food, and I lost the weight properly without using the sauna suit, sitting in a sauna sweat room. I lost the weight like how I was supposed to lose the weight, scientific, and he did a great job, and I got down to 147 pounds, and I was looking strong.
Thank you.
You're a great champion.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Your combinations were so effective tonight. What enabled that?
Just my work in the gym. I felt a little off, like my timing was a little off, but I knew I was gonna catch on later on in the rounds. So I just kept working. I kept throwing punches, and then sometimes I was being over patient, and then I was like just throwing punches instead of just picking my shots. But I think that was due to the long layoff, and I was super excited to get back in the ring, and I was trying to push the pace more than I needed it to.
Looked like you got caught in the 6th round. Your mouthpiece went out. You turned away, and then you took a couple of shots. What happened there?
Well, I thought the ref had said stop, so I stopped, and then he still hit me with like 3 or 4 shots. So that's my fault. That was a rookie mistake on myself. You're supposed to protect yourself at all times, and I didn't do that at all.
Were you out on your feet for a moment or two there?
No, I wasn't out on my feet. I turned and looked at my mouthpiece, and then he hit me, and I was like, oh shit. Well, they just kept hitting me. I was like, oh damn. And then when I tried to put my hands up, he had stopped anyway because the ref had jumped in. So it was all right.
How is it that you have managed to become a better fighter through all of the adversity, through the car accident, through the eye? How is it that you've improved?
I believe in, you're going to go through trials and tribulations. I went through a lot of trials. I got tested. And, I passed the test due to, just my upbringing. My mother, my father always, telling me not to quit, not to give up, and just believing in myself and my family, and not wanting to prove them wrong and know I could come back. So I was like, man, why would I just quit now and I can come back and I can still be at my best? I just got to train hard, stay focused, listen to my coach, and, just stay out the way.
What's next?
Oh, well, everybody know who I want next. I want Terrence Crawford next.
You're going to make that happen?
Huh?
You're going to make that happen?
Oh, definitely. That's the fight that I want. That's the fight everybody else want. Like I said, I'm going to get these straps, and I'm going to go over there and take his shit, too.
All right. Errol, congratulations. Terrific fight this evening.
So that's why I think it's happening, because, normally Al Heyman fighters, they won't just be that straight bold like that, unless it's something like concrete. They're not really known PBC fighters to, like negotiate in the media. And that's why, I feel that it's going to happen. Now, who's going to win? I got to be honest. With the way Errol Spence looked last night, he don't look like he's missed a beat. Despite having, damn near losing his eye and damn near losing his life in 2 separate incidents, or 2 separate accidents. One with the eye, the torn retina, and then before with, him being ejected from a sports car while drinking and driving. Like he was in some really, really bad shape. Let's go take a look at Ugas' face, because he was looking, you know what? Let's be honest though. It's because he's got no eyebrows. So the swelling is more profound. And I'm keeping him 100. That's the way it looks to me. If he, like, in my opinion, would the doctor have, like, would the doctor have really stopped it? Well, then again, this shit do look fucked up. And it's the lack of eyebrows that makes it look like, I don't know, that joint is closed. Oh, no, I don't want to be saying no dumb shit. He not looking good. Here's a better picture. What does this look like? You know what he looks like? You ever see Prometheus? He looks like one of the engineers. Damn, Errol Spence beat the shit out that boy. And now where does Ugas go? You know, 147, now that's it. You know, when a fighter's chasing undisputed, you get put to the back of the line now. So, for example, I mean, what's Ugas going to do? Does he move up to 154? I mean, I'm not saying there's like not good fights at 147 for him, but after a whooping like that, Sloth from the Goonies. I don't want to joke around, but you know, that's fucked up. Well, anyway, right now, those belts at 147 are going to be tied up for a while. All of them. That's right there, at least, you know, before anybody get... Okay, Spence Crawford, you might as well say there's going to be 2 fights. Might as well say it's going to be 2 fights. And as it stands right now, there's only one mandatory, and that's Eimantis, who won today against Radzhab Butaev. So Virgil Ortiz, Boots Ennis, those guys got to fight each other eventually to you know, figure out who's going to be the best, you know, and get their shot at 147. Keith Thurman, as we talked about earlier, he shouldn't have lost to Manny Pacquiao. That's why he's in the shit that he's in. He wasn't supposed to lose. But depending on what type of damage, like, you know, hopefully nothing's broken. You know, hopefully Yordenis Ugas didn't get his face broken. Like, you know, I believe Erickson Lubin last week had his nose broken. Hopefully Ugas is going to be okay and it's just some supreme, you know, swelling. Thanks for the super chat, Reason. I don't have the alerts up. I got to put those back up. Reason with the $10 super chat says, this is Spence's Ugas. This Spence and Ugas would beat Bud. T-Street, stay up. By the way, tell Gamboa to hang him up. Yeah, Gamboa's got to retire. Well, here's the thing. Let me tell you something. If you would have asked me 2 days ago, and I did a video, who would win between Crawford and Spence, I did say I wanted to see how Spence looked tonight. And I was leaning towards Crawford, but now I don't know, bro. Spence is good. You know, as I was saying in my original post-fight video, there's a difference between a good fighter and a special talent. For example, Canelo is a special talent. Alexander Usyk, Tyson Fury, they're special talents. Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, Gervonta Tank Davis, they are special talents. Naoya Inoue, they are special talents. That's just my opinion. You know, and remember, we're not always supposed to agree. There's going to be sometimes you're going to watch my video, you're going to be like, this fucking guy's a fucking asshole. He makes me sick. I can't stand him. He's a piece of shit. He should quit. And there's going to be sometimes you're going to be like, all right, that guy's all right. So we're not always supposed to agree. And I'm going to go through my top 10 147 pounders before we end the video, especially when since Conor Ben won earlier today. But when we talk about Crawford, by the way, take your time out, like the video. I'm not doing this for my health. I'm just saying, I don't ask you guys for much. I'm not asking you for the Cash App. I'm not asking you for to subscribe to my SoundCloud or my Patreon, all right? You know, or my Venmo or whatever the hell people are doing these days. So at least you can do is help a brother out and like the video. So right now obviously, Terrence Crawford doesn't have the better resume because Errol Spence, because his affiliation, you know, with PBC, and he's the PBC Golden Goose, he's had the access to the better talent. You know, Danny Garcia, longtime PBC fighter. Sean Porter, longtime PBC fighter. Mikey Garcia, he saw something at Errol Spence. I don't know what he saw, got his ass beat. You know, PBC fighter at the time. Lamont Peterson, PBC fighter. He had to fight Kell Brook overseas, didn't control any of the promotion because he had to be that guy to go get the belt to be able to call the shots. To where if you look at Terrence Crawford's resume, is it his fault that all of a sudden, that after Errol Spence beats him, they want to fight Terrence Crawford now, like Sean Porter? No disrespect, like Sean Porter. You know, Danny Garcia, now all of a sudden he wants a piece of Terrence Crawford when these fights were available before. You know, but they didn't want to take it. So when you look at his resume, I don't, you know, even though, yes, It's been by design. I really felt that at one point in time, PBC was freezing him out. But it's not, you can't really be mad at Errol Spence for what he was saying 2 years ago. Now, remember, he did get into an accident. He had a 13-month layoff after he was ejected from the Ferrari. Then he had another 13-month layoff for the eye injury. But his goal was to collect all the belts on his side of the street in his promotional outfit. So now that he has all three, it makes no sense for him not to fight Crawford, because then that's definitely a big-ass duck. And Terrence Crawford is a free agent. So me personally, with the way that they've been promoting Spence versus Crawford throughout the buildup of Spence versus Ugas, when have you ever heard PBC or Showtime or Spence's side talk this much about Terrence Crawford? Never. I think the fight's happening. You know, and even see Steven Espinoza, the one who would be spending the money, you know, and putting the fight on pay-per-view, putting the budget there, the head of Showtime Sports, he's been talking about it. So to me, it looks like it's happening. But right now, Terrence Crawford is good, bro. Especially when he switched southpaw on you. He's the type of fighter that even if he does get dropped, you know, he hasn't been dropped well, Kavalaskis. But what I'm saying is he can adjust. Like, he's a very, like, put it this way. If I was to put Errol Spence if I was to say who, in my personal opinion, if I was to say who's the better technical fighter, from my opinion, is Terrence Crawford. Like, you see him do some special shit. Don't get me wrong. What Errol Spence did tonight was special. But listen, Terrence Crawford, that motherfucker ain't no joke. Dude is good. Like, really good. Here, let's take a little break for those who didn't listen. Let's go listen to Errol Spence a little bit. Just recap the post-fight press conference. He only takes a few questions. So, you know, and then the dumb questions, you know, we're not even going to listen to them anymore. Take your time out, like the video, subscribe. And we'll go from there. Let me see. Is it right here?
No, I showed my gratitude, like I said, on social media, showing my gratitude.
Errol, the truth, Spence Jr., ladies and gentlemen, the unified welterweight champion of the world. Errol.
How's it going? I'd like to thank everybody for coming out, man. I think it was a big event. You know, Dallas really came out and supported me and showed a lot of love. And, you know, I showed my gratitude, like I said, on social media, showing my gratitude by not just telling them, but showing my appreciation by showing them in the ring. And I think that's what I did. Everybody enjoyed the show. They got their money's worth. I put on a great show and a great performance. And I appreciate everybody for watching it on Showtime pay-per-view and spending your hard-earned money and coming to the fight. Appreciate you spending your time and your hard-earned money coming to the fight, too. Thank you.
Okay, the media has questions? Okay, we'll start over here.
Cameron Buford, Los Angeles News Observer, by way of Voice of the Fans. Congratulations, Spence, for doing your work, getting in there and putting them away. At what point... in the third round, that was an exciting third round. Did he frustrate you in that third round? In the sixth round, did he piss you off?
It was just in the third round. I think it was like even the start of the fight. I was getting a little bit, you know, I was kind of off a little bit, you know, I guess the layoff, but I was kind of off a little bit and trying to find my rhythm and my range. So, and I was throwing like looping shots. And my shots were coming a little bit hard, and I wasn't setting up my punches or just letting them go like I did in the later rounds. It started being more effective when I started letting them go. But at the first start, I started just throwing hard and trying to you know, put a lot of emphasis in my shots.
Yeah, this is Skip Brown from Dante's Boxing Nation by way of Aki TV. First of all, congratulations, champ.
Thank you.
Terrence Crawford tweeted, quote, "Congratulations, great fight. Now the real fight happens. No more talk. No more side of the street. Let's go." What's your response to Terrence Crawford's comment?
I mean, I already responded. I mean, I already said what I said when I was in the ring. I've been saying it this whole week, doing presses and everything. I said It's strap season. I got one more belt to get. And, after I get through with Ugas, I'm coming at Terrence Crawford. So, I already know what time it is.
Errol, Cesar said over here, America TV, Decisión Dividida.
He has been saying it all week.
We saw this is the second time that we see the same thing happen with the mouthpiece situation, right? Do you have to work on correcting the situation with the mouthpiece? The same thing happened in the Garcia fight. You lost the mouthpiece and you went looking for it too. It's keep happening.
Hey, you on point. You right. I gotta get a new mouthpiece. My mouthpiece been messed up. I gotta get a new mouthpiece. It's not molded to my mouth at all, so it's just flopping everywhere. Then so I gotta bite down real hard for it to stay in my mouth. So that's my fault. That's a rookie mistake for me, and that was a rookie mistake for me too. Like looking off and looking for my mouthpiece, and then I get punched like 3 times. So that was my fault too, because you're supposed to protect yourself at all times. So hey man.
Champ side.
I think it is too.
What the future holds, but like I said, I'm gonna get a new mouthpiece.
Champ side, Errol, you really started right here in front of you. You really started applying pressure right after that situation. And can you talk about the dog, Michael Irvin? I saw him after the fight. He was very fired up. He said, "That's what we do. We break mother." Can you talk about your style and that pressure that you put on to make a fighter break inside of the ring?
I think when the fight first started, I was being kind of impatient. I don't think I had my rhythm and my range, so I was throwing like looping shots, trying to throw hard shots and trying to catch them. But in the later rounds, when I started, setting my shots up and placing my shots and picking my shots and not throwing hard, but just letting them go, I think I was catching them a lot and breaking them down and I felt him breaking down because he wasn't throwing like he usually does. So I was like, okay, I got him now. And then I just kept punching. I thought the ref was gonna stop it a lot earlier, but he just let it keep going.
Keith Heidick from BoxingScene.com. Congratulations, Errol.
Thank you.
Now that you've both made it crystal clear that you want this fight next, how difficult do you expect the negotiations to be, and what do you think would be fair for both of you?
I'm not gonna talk about what's gonna be fair for both of us. That's for the guys in suits to go over all the analytics and and stuff like that, and see what we both bring to the table, and then sort it out like that. So he got his people that take care of his business. I got my people. They'll meet up, and it'll make sense.
Errol, straight down. Danny Alvarez here. First and foremost, congratulations on the victory. There's been a lot of questions regarding the eye, and obviously now you got in there, you showed. People were saying it hasn't been man down in a while. You showed. How do you feel now stepping out of the ring, getting a TKO here in front of your home crowd, and obviously first fight back since the detached retina?
I feel good. I mean, it was a lot of questions that y'all had, not myself, because I've been in the gym, I've been sparring, so I didn't have any questions. Y'all had all the questions and the doubt, and saying he wasn't this or he not the same fighter, or it's only natural. All the experts, it's only natural that when you.
Here, let me ask you a question. From his performance tonight, because he's right coming into this fight, and he can't be upset if people had doubts about him. I mean, once again, he was in a horrific accident. And then after one comeback fight against Danny Garcia, he had a torn retina where he could have almost lost his eye. So, yes, we had to see something. But tonight, do you feel that he's really back? Listen, from what I've seen tonight, dude is back. Like, dude, he answered all my questions. I'm not going to be talking about any more videos I do from him. About him, I'm not going to be talking about the accident and the eye and, I wonder if he's still the same and if he got anything left. Nah, like, dude is legit. Like, he ain't nothing wrong with him. And the question I have is I'm trying to picture him versus Crawford in my head. And right now, he would definitely be the more active of the fighters. You know, so I would give him the punch output edge. Who would have the better jab? Who would have the better power? Right now, even though he can be considered the smaller fighter, remember Errol Spence started his career at 147. Terrence Crawford started at campaigning at 135. But I believe, from my understanding, let me go look, he did start his career at 147, but was primarily, you know, making his bones. Let me go look real quick. Okay, he started his career pretty much at 140 and been dabbling around, you know, there, you know, a couple of fights above the 140-pound limit. But for the most part, you know, he made his way from 135 all the way up to being undisputed at 140 to now WBO champion at 147. And he's been chasing Errol Spence for a long time. So who do you give the power edge to? If you're going to ask me, I'm giving the power edge and the overall better boxer, you know, technician to Terrence Crawford. Errol Spence is bigger. Errol Spence has the better punch volume. And I'm going to say he has the better variety of punches. Now, both of these are not taken away. I'm not necessarily saying that, you know, Terrence Crawford, put it this way, this is my opinion. You don't have to agree. But right now, I'm still somewhat giving the edge. Like if it's do or die, one round, you know, I'm giving the edge to Terrence Crawford. Like, dude is an animal. But I'm not saying Errol Spence can't beat him. I don't know. I'm on a 50-50 fence. I'm on a 50-50 fence, but I guess I can't say I'm on 50-50 because I'm leaning towards Terrence Crawford.
You have eye surgery, you're gonna be tentative in the ring and all the other bull. It's only natural, out of expert. It's only natural that when you have eye surgery, you're gonna be tentative in the ring.
How am I biased for Bud? What is it? Because I'm not agreeing with you? That's why I say what I say, because I'm not agreeing with you. I'm biased. Like, how does that make sense? Like, y'all just saying anything these days. Like, it's my opinion. You don't have to agree. Like, that's like not cool to be calling. And you know, you see that a lot though in debates. If people don't, if your opinion doesn't align with others, then they call you biased. Like, bro, get out of here with that. Like, you're allowed to think what you're going to think. I'm not going to say, you're just a Crawford hater. Like, nah, they don't work like that.
And all the other bull crap. And then, that, like, as you seen, like, it was no tentativeness or anything like that. Like, you know, I was fighting. You know, I was fighting to get a knockout. So, you know, I felt good.
Hey, Errol, James Bell here at the Boxing Source. Now, in key fights, it's all about adjustments that, like, you know, change the momentum of the fight. In the third and the fourth round, you pretty much started to land that left uppercut, and that was pretty much where Ugas didn't have an answer for it. So, like, kind of going through those adjustments as far as, like, you know, keeping consistent with the jab, but also incorporating the left uppercut where, you know, he just didn't have an answer for that.
Like, it's just about making adjustments, like you said. I think that's, you know, that is my style. Like, I make adjustments on the fly. And when something's not going right, you know, that's what I do, and I try to look for different things. So, like, I was throwing the left, it wasn't working, so I was jabbing, setting it up, and then...
Thanks, Marlon, for the super chat. He says, Spence going to break Crawford down to the last molecule. We'll see. We'll see.
Shots underneath and then coming over the top, and that was working. So, you know, I was just trying different things, and, you know, and the things that was working, I started using more and more and more as the fight started going, and I started settling it in.
Errol, congrats.
I do think that Errol is the better body puncher, though, from what we've seen. Like, he goes directly after it. You know, yeah, Bud is a good body puncher, but I would give the edge in body punching to Errol Spence. I'm giving Errol Spence the body punching edge, punch variety, punch output, size. Crawford, in my opinion, better technically, power, and IQ. But that's kind of, you know, a toss up there too. You know, but who's faster? Now, I cover all these fights. I watch all of these fights. You know, I've been covering Errol Spence like since his, since he first started on fucking Golden Boy on Fight Night Golden Boy on FS1. And Crawford since he was fighting on Top Rank TV type shows. Let me see. Who do you think is the faster fighter though? Like hand speed. Spence has more combinations. I want to say Crawford's faster. Crawford's not necessarily a guy that's going to go out there and throw a lot of punches. He'll figure you out. But I think Spence is faster. Crawford is faster.
Champ, Stephen Correño, KO Art of Sports. Your body attack was vicious tonight, man. And do you feel that helped open up the shots to the eye? And with the eye closing, did you see it closing, obviously, and maybe kind of start going for it more, thinking maybe the stoppage would come from that?
I did see it closing, but, I was just targeting, what was open and just trying to punch through.
That's another good thing. Marlon says, in the phone booth, Crawford won't make it. I think if we're going to go inside fighting, I'm going to give that to Spence. Inside fighting. That's key. Because Errol Spence, as we saw with Ugas, he will grind you down on the inside. And he hung in there in the pocket with Sean Porter. But we did see that, Sean Porter fought two different fights against Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. Errol Spence, he went straight at him to where Crawford was down in the earlier rounds to Sean Porter because Sean Porter chose the box and not straight go out there after him. So it depends on how you look at it, but I would give Spence the edge on the inside. And with the inside being the better body puncher, we don't know. Could possibly break him down.
Through his guard. I know a lot of times he just sit and brace himself and, try to take the shots. So I was just punching through the guard.
Okay, we have time for one last question.
Thank you. Valencia King with Real Talk.
We're not going to listen to her. She didn't do nothing. You know what? I'm going to torture you with her using the last question to ask. Listen, I don't know who this woman is, but, one of my biggest issues with boxing media events is I never liked when somebody has the last question and they ask just some fucked up shit, like some Eli Sekback shit that don't nobody in the grand scheme really care about. But hey, who knows? That woman has a credential. Maybe that's a part of her job, they make sure you ask Errol Spence about this so they can write it on whatever they're doing. But I don't like this. And you can tell she kind of broed it a little bit. It seemed like somebody else had a question and she was like, nah, it's my time.
Just trying to punch through his guard. I know a lot of times he just sit and brace himself and, try to take the shots. So I was just punching through the guard.
Okay, we have time for one last question.
Thank you. Valencia King with Real Talk Sports right here. Earl, congratulations again. My question is, you came out to none other than Southside the Realest. It's the Big T-U-C-K. What was that moment like for you? Because the city of Dallas was on 10.
Yeah, that's what, I aim to do, especially fighting in Dallas. I want to bring homegrown, people that's from the city. And, I think it was a great moment for the city of Dallas because, to me, that's the biggest song that ever came out of Dallas. And, everybody know that song, so word for word. So I feel like it was a great moment, a historic moment. I'm going to keep putting on.
All right. She worked for a radio station. All right, cool.
If I can, I'm going to come out too,
Makes sense.
This is my third rapper from Dallas that I came out with. So, I'm always trying to, show love, back to my city, especially, if somebody has a great song, I want to get them as much exposure as I can. Thank you.
Enjoy the time off, my friend.
And that was it. So I wonder what Crawford's going to do next because his last fight was in November. Is he just going to sit out until Errol Spence? I don't want to see them in no interim fight. I don't want to see them. I don't want to, it's not that I wouldn't entertain it, but I don't want to see Terrence Crawford fighting in like June or July, you know, and then him and Errol Spence fight later on this year. But what if that rumor of the 2-fight deal with PBC is true? That Terrence Crawford comes back and he fights in June or July against maybe a Danny Garcia on a pay-per-view to test the waters or something like that, because you know they're gonna put it on pay-per-view. And then him and Errol Spence fight in the fall, or would you rather him go straight after him and Errol Spence fight in September or October, November, some shit like that? Me personally, listen, I don't want nothing getting in the way. I'm sorry. I'd rather Bud sit out. Like, if he want to sit out until he gets the big fish, I'd rather him sit out. Bud said he don't want to enter and fight. Good. Because as Errol Spence said, you know, he didn't want no type of tune-up after his injuries because it shows what? Doubt. So he came right back in and got into the mix, you know? So listen, I'm going to get up out of here because I've been doing videos since 7 o'clock this morning. Like 7 o'clock yesterday morning. So which means I have been officially awake like 19 hours or some shit like that. You dig? No, I woke up at 6. So I've been awake for 20 hours, like doing boxing shit. So I got to get up out of here. Happy Easter. Thank you for watching. Take your time out, like the video, subscribe. Monday, we're going to do a recap on all of this, let everything settle down over the weekend and go from there. And then, of course, we got Tyson Fury versus Dillian Whyte. Ew. Josesito Lopez. Did you notice this card was kind of a retirement card? With all these geezers. Fucking Josesito Lopez. No disrespect, I'm just joking. But these geezers. Josesito Lopez, pretty much, you might as well say he's done. 37 years old. 40-year-old Yuriorkis Gamboa got a boot put in his ass. Francisco Vargas got beat up and won. Like, bro, like, you know, like, what the hell were they thinking? But anyway, take your time out. Like the video. That really helps us out. Thanks for watching. Yeah, we do this for every major fight, post-fight press conferences and all that. Spend about an hour after the fight talking about the fight, listening to interviews, and showing the highlights. The only channel that's actually doing this in boxing. So we do have that going for us, despite our inconsistency sometimes. Thanks for watching. See you guys later. I'm T Street Controversy with Fight View 360.